Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. And Aquarius, this is your weekly intuitive tarot reading for February the 10th to the 16th. This week we have the Get Grounded Oracle card. We have the King of Swords, Three of Wands, Temperance, King of Cups, Nine of Cups, and the Five of Wands with the Five of Swords behind there as well. They came out together. So with that Get Grounded Oracle card, I really feel like there is a sense here that you need to stabilize yourself emotionally, Aquarius, this week. You know, you are an air sign anyway, so sometimes it is possible to be a little bit, I don't want to say flighty. It can be like that. I'm not trying to be negative, but maybe just having lots of different ideas on the go. It's easier for you to get destabilized when you're too much in that sense of air energy, to bring some other elements in there, to bring some balance, and to maybe just ground yourself or earth your energy a little bit. Because when you're ungrounded and maybe too much in that kind of air energy, that's when other people can potentially engage you in conflict. We do see some strong indicators of conflict there. It's time for you to get into a better place, do the inner work, do some of that internal alchemy. Step back into your Aquarian power, use your air force for the right reasons, not for the wrong reasons. And from there, that's when you can move forward and move towards the things that you really want in your life. So I'm just going to read out that Oracle card and then we will unpack the tarot. Get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. You are being called to get grounded, to ensure that your luminous field is clear and your inner well is full. If you're not grounded, it is all too easy to get swept up in other people's energy and mistake it for your own. That's what I was trying to say, Aquarius. Sorry if I was offensive when I said flighty. What I really meant is when you're that air sign and you kind of, you're feeling really in that way, it can be so easy to connect to other people's energy and get swept into conflict and things like that. So the Oracle card's nailing it here. Your boundaries will become blurred as you're absorbing the energies around you and struggling to define what is their stuff and what is yours. If you pull this card, you're very likely an empath or a highly sensitive person and need time alone to fill up your well. Balance your energy and get grounded. There are two types of people: those who draw their energy from others and those that draw their energy from within. Reflect on which one you are and carve out time each day to ensure your well is being replenished. Being sensitive is a superpower, but like all powers, it needs to be nurtured in order to be fulfilled. So whereabouts are you, Aquarius, at the moment, potentially allowing your air energy to sort of be a little bit manipulated, maybe even a bit abused in a way? Where is it getting swept up in other people's problems? Where is it that people might be taking advantage of your good nature? Where is it that you might be, a highly sensitive empath, but you are surrounded by harsh energies that are potentially bringing you down? Maybe people are trying to engage you in conflict. And this is your recent past situation here, double fives, Aquarius. So where is there a conflict in your life at the moment, internally or externally? Now, 5 is a number of conflict, but it's also the number of change. So it says that there is a fundamental change that needs to happen in order to transmute this conflict energy into something positive, right? It's like the antidote to conflict is change, making positive change. Now, the 5 of Wands is sort of pettiness. It can be pettiness in the workplace. It can be workplace gossip, getting dragged into political conversations, backstabbing. In a relationship, it can be that bickering, having to have the last say, tit for tat kind of arguing. And for me, the 5 of Swords is kind of like an escalation on that. It's when the knives come out and things get a little bit nastier. People say things that they don't mean. Maybe people putting each other down, manipulation, really fighting an unfair battle that's got a really off energy about it. Also in the 5 of Wands, we see these people using their wands in a negative way. Now, wands are our personal power. So you could be in a situation with people that are abusing their power and trying to drag you into that situation. That's what I see there. But with the 5 of Swords is a victory card, but it's a victory that comes at a cost. So is you or somebody else that you might be engaging in trying to sort of engage you in a battle to win something? Maybe it's a promotion at work. Maybe it's over a lover or a male or a female trying to vie for their attentions come out as the best candidate, that sort of thing. So, and I feel that whatever this conflict is, Aquarius, that it has destabilized you emotionally in some way. I mean, conflict definitely makes me feel like that. And if you are a highly sensitive person, which I know like a lot of Aquariuses that are, conflict really, it really affects your energy field, and it can really make you feel, yeah, like as the oracle card said, sorry, being swept away, so that your energy is actually going to the other person who might be trying to actually feed off your energy rather than being retained for yourself. So it's time to evoke the King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups is somebody who can sit right in the emotional waters of life when things get tumultuous and there's upset and things get hard. The King of Cups sits on a solid foundation and is unshakable. He's also somebody who can remain empathetic and compassionate in the face of conflict, seeing both parties' situations, knowing not to engage in it, knowing to be the bigger person, and maybe extending, an offer of compassion, apology if it's needed, but not backing down, not backing down and just being, saying sorry to another person if it's their fault. It's about being fair and even, but using that emotional intelligence to discern the situation. That's the King of Cups energy. So you are being called to stabilize yourself in some way. And when you start that process, as you focus energies this week, that's when the transformation begins, and that's when you can release that energy. So here we see you and your energy, King of Swords, Aquarian energy, back in your seat of power and being victorious for the right reasons. Now, the King of Swords knows how to draw clear boundaries, draw clear lines in the sand. The King of Swords is not somebody who would get engaged in situations like the Five of Swords. They would work together with that King of Cups energy to see, okay, well, my emotional intelligence is saying to me that that's not a good move to get involved in that. Can we just sit down and have clear communication, be compassionate for one another, deal on facts and not on emotions, and from there we can resolve it. So the King of Swords is also somebody who sits on that cliff face, at grand scale. From that position, he has a 360-degree eagle eye view, meaning he can see the full picture. He can see the situation for exactly what it is. So when we have the insight, when we have all the information, that's when it's the right time to actually communicate, to step in and try and resolve the situation. And just that process alone is very transformative, but we see you being very powerful this week. And Temperance, this is where you start doing that emotional rebalancing. That angel is pouring the waters of life between those two cups, doing the internal alchemy to get herself, himself, back into a place of balance. It's evening up the score. Temperance talks about, healing, regenerating, restoring, rejuvenating. And it's through that process, that the path forward starts to open up because you're actually changing your energy. With Temperance, I always talk about the 3 pillars and stabilizing them. So she wears the equilateral triangle on her gown, and the 3 sides for me stand for our physical, mental, and emotional health. And it's when we find stability and nurture each one of those areas, we become unshakable. That's when we become imbalanced. That's when that water is sitting nice and even in those cups. And with Temperance, there is that little element of divine guidance, being a bit protected this week, having that little bit of luck on your side. And after you've sort of gone through that transformation, because this is a little bit of alchemy, it is a personal transformation, Aquarius, I think you're going to be starting to turn around and face in a new direction. Now, that young Emperor in the 3 of Wands has turned his back on the past. He's turned his back on situations that he no longer wants to engage with. He's used that emotional intelligence of the King of Cups to say, well, you know what, that's not in alignment with me, so I'm just going to turn my back on it, and I'm all about forward vision and forward movement now. And just through that, that alchemical process, that is the beginning of creating new success in your life. This is a number 3 here. It's about new manifestations, starting to plant new seeds. What do you truly want for your life now that you're releasing things that don't serve you? And there's ships on this horizon. Now they haven't, arrived yet. They're not calling into port quite now, but the promise is that your ships will come in the near future, Aquarius, if you can keep doing that internal work. And where might you end up? Well, we have the beautiful Nine of Cups here. So through your manifestations this week, absolutely dream big, because the Nine of Cups is the wish fulfillment card. And it's that card of being really satisfied and really content with what you've got, especially on an emotional level and a, deep fulfillment level. I would say that you would not have been fulfilled when you're engaging in this kind of energy, but by getting grounded, doing that internal alchemy work, getting back into your seat of power, this is saying to me that the possibilities are, limitless. There is real potential here. The reminder with the Nine of Cups is not to get complacent, not to get too comfortable when those ships do start to come in. He sits there on a wooden bench, which is good for now. You can take a little pause and admire your hard work, but that bench is not comfortable enough for him to settle in for the long haul. So what it's saying is that it's a cyclic process of releasing what doesn't serve, doing the internal work, doing the manifestation, reaping the rewards, but it doesn't end there. We then keep working the process because we are human beings and we're engaging with other human beings, and we're always going to come up against conflict and people with conflicting views and opinions and beliefs and that sort of thing. Really what we need to do is become the master of emotional intelligence. It's all in the delivery. It's all in how you handle yourself. And that's how, we get back into the flow of life and sail through nice and easily and, keep on working towards that wish fulfillment. Okay, Aquarius, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Have a great week. Do keep in mind it's a general reading. It won't be for every Aquarius. Feel free to leave me a comment because I always love to know how it's playing out in your daily life. And I'll see you back here next week for another reading.